So this is Sailing Anarchy TV. We are in the Newport, Rhode Island base of Puma Ocean Racing, and we're here today with General Manager Kimo Worthington. Kimo, thanks for joining us again.
My pleasure.
On Sailing Anarchy TV. Tomorrow the boat's going to Bermuda.
Yep, little race.
And if we learned anything from the New York Yacht Club Regatta last week, it's Volvo 70s don't seem to rate well under IRC.
No, they don't rate at all, actually. They don't rate well at all. I mean, we were first to the weather mark, I think, 4 out of 5 times. We got passed downwind on the runs, but we're sailing with the 90-footers, boat for boat, basically. And we couldn't even get close to timing out anybody, basically.
So did you and George David flip a coin for who was going to sail on Rambler and who was going to sail on Il Mastro last week?
No, yeah, they do. No, we didn't do that. But there was a little fighting. They do want to, we do work together, a lot of things, so it's kind of fun. And Kenny and George always have a bet on who's beating who. So we have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of. We work with those guys quite a bit.
Well, that's good. And we're here in Newport, and there's a lot of people that are disappointed that Newport won't be a stopover for the Volvo. And considering Kenny's brother was in charge of the Newport organizing campaign, is there an official comment on the stopovers from Puma Ocean Racing?
Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad with both. Sure, we'd love to have it in Newport, and Brad really, he spent a lot of time trying to put this together, trying to get the governor and everybody to put it together and put some money in. And it's shocking that, we know there's facts. It brings in, $40 or $50 million to a city that the government wouldn't just put in the money is shocking. But they couldn't do it, and Miami got the stopover, and Miami has a lot of merit also. It has a lot for Puma. It's pretty good because it's a huge market for us. And also the weather and other things work out very well for Volvo, so that's why they ended up choosing that stopover. So it'll be interesting. The guy was up here yesterday, and we're going to help him try and make that the best stopover we can. So.
And what's Puma going to do to attract the non-sailing audience?
That we're working on. That's pretty important to us. That is a big deal. And I think also with Volvo, that's something we all, in all the teams, that's even in our discussions, we're on the phone this morning with Volvo and some of the other teams, is how do we do that? That is something that everybody has to work on, and everybody has to kind of get out of their mind about, it's important, yes, to win the race and try and win the race, but we need to do a good job generating interest into the general public, making the boats closer to the general public, so people don't have to feel like they have to get on a boat to go watch the race. We have to give up, the perfect, all the guys want the perfect race course, the windward lured within 2 degrees and the perfect run, and they get all upset if it isn't. Hell, that's out the goddamn window. We got to have races where the boats go fast, they're right by the rocks, they're by the shore, they're by the points, and so the average person can walk out with their kids and family and have a great day and watch these boats go back and forth at full speed. So that is going to happen at the stopovers. Wherever they can, they're going to have races inshore and close, and it's not going to be a windward lured race.
Well, they did that in Boston with the Pro-Am Day when we had the drag racing, and everybody, from the people on the boats to the people on shore, all seemed to think that was a great day.
Yeah, no, and we got to do a better job of that. We got to make that fun, the time clock, the timing, whatever it is, we got to think a little bit outside of the box, and that's something here at Puma that we're really strong on trying to make happen.
Now, Puma was a little late. Everybody was expecting Puma to come out and announce almost instantaneously they were coming back. It took a little bit of time, and now you're Puma Ocean Racing powered by Berg Propulsion.
Yep.
Was Puma committed to doing the race alone, or was Berg Propulsion necessary in order to make this next edition happen?
Well, first step was we were never going to do the race again with the rules the way they were. We couldn't compete, and it wasn't, against like an Ericsson type program, these big giant 2-boat America's Cup type programs. Puma was never going to compete against that. That's not money well spent, and nor did they want to compete in that. So first the rules had to get sorted out so that we wouldn't have to compete against that. And now that's all happened, and it's actually worked out very well. We're only limited so many sailing days, and it sounds like most of the teams, that's going to fit in great. That's not even a big deal. The 110 sailing days works out pretty nice for everybody. It keeps the budgets under control. It keeps the program smaller, and it makes it easy for like the other teams to get in. You know, like the Team Campers is now coming in. There's a couple other new teams that are coming in, and they're not going to be at a huge disadvantage. So the racing should be fantastic. The boats should be close. You know, no one's going to have a two-boat program and have this giant, you know, lead over everybody else. And from Puma's side, they, you know, it's been a tough couple of years financially, you know, just with all the, you know, crisis and everything else. And for a team to do it again, a sponsor to do it again, it's a big deal. And they wanted a second sponsor. And yes, it was critical that we got a second sponsor. And Berg Propulsion stepped in right at the right time.
That's it. And Berg was a sponsor for Green Dragon the last time around.
Yeah.
What does Berg Propulsion bring to Puma Ocean Racing?
Oh, they're like Puma. They're fun. They're innovative. They do some cool stuff. They know what they want to get out of the race. We have a great relationship with the guys. You know, they're a small company. They can make decisions quickly. And I think they're going to be a great sponsor for the race itself also. They're going to do some nice activation things at different, you know, stopovers. And they'll be active in it. And they're going to bring, you know, I just think they're in there for the long haul also.
Now, I think you're aware that there's a lot of hype and hope around Puma Ocean Racing, and you're one of the clear front runners to win the next Volvo, at least in the public perspective.
Yeah.
But you've made a lot of changes.
Yep.
And you're going to 1K Designs
Yep.
for the new boat. How did that come about?
Well, with the same process, Kenny went and met with all the different designers and just went through the different steps and was very comfortable with the 1K process and how he, you know, the proposal he put together and everything else. And it kind of lined up with our way of thinking and how we wanted to do things.
Now, Il Mastro was a good boat, and many people seem to think that it was an all-around good boat, but it never had that one condition where it was great.
Yeah.
And that was your biggest handicap.
Yeah.
Where are you looking to design?
Well, that's where Kenny, his sailing team, he's working on that. You know, that's their, I kind of, you know, we each got to do our jobs. You know, I got to run the organization, the budget, the schedules, and everything else. And Kenny and the sailing team, they work on the design. I'm not, you know, I make sure the design part from a financial side and stuff happens, but I'm not involved in a daily process on what their actual designs, what they're looking for. And that, I mean, we know it's going to be a lot closer this time because of all the boats. You know, the rule gets tighter and tighter. You know, the design gets tighter and tighter as you go. So it's going to be much more one design, and the boats will be pretty close, I think.
Is it a good thing for the race that 3 of the 4 new builds are coming from the same designer?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because this way you don't have, last time it was, you had, that's why boats were not even competitive when the race started last time. You know, there was a couple boats that were 1,000 kilos out before the race even started. Well, they're not even competitive. Now you can go in, you can buy. You know, you have 3 teams coming out of the same designer, so those boats are all going to be in the same family. They're going to be very competitive. So there's 3 right there that are going to be great. And then the Team Campers, they're going to have a nice boat because it's a second generation. And you can buy also a Groupama, not a Groupama, but a Generation 5 1K boat. And you can just go buy that. And it's easy. It's done. So having it all opened up, and it's a huge budget saving. Instead of having, your own designer, that means you got to sign up and pay that huge fee to be an exclusive designer. So it's good for the race. It's like it was before.
Okay. Who's doing your rate package?
Hall.
Who's building the boat?
NEB.
NEB. Good. So it'll be another hometown product.
Yeah.
Hometown
product.
When's construction going to start up?
It's going to start in the next couple months, 2-3 months here. We're working on that right now. The actual final dates and everything.
Well, that's good. There's a lot of boat builders around here that need some work, so that's certainly a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a huge thing for Rhode Island. It brings some money in, and it keeps it all close, so it's good for us.